I'm not surprised. Most people have.
So lost.
Yeah, you're lost as well.
In a similar world.
How many hours have you guys got into the game so far?
Oh, I shouldn't say.
Yeah, me neither.
Your hours are documented though, Sam.
Yours are much more justified. I have like the thin guise of this is for work when I'm just playing it for my own accord to talk about on a podcast one time. But you're broadcasting it, so at least you've got a lot more justification.
Let's just say there's about 50 recorded hours.
Minus the ones you've done off camera.
And I've literally only done half. I've explored half the game.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah, the game is huge.
It's unbelievable. The map doesn't even look that big, but just playing through it, you can't even wrap your head around how much there is to do. It's crazy.
I've heard if you want to 100% it, you're looking at 200 hours plus. Man. If you want to do everything the game has to offer.
Sounds about right.
All right, guys. I went to Maine and broke up cement with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, dude.
Come on. Zelda? What is this?
So
Zelda?
exciting.
I was swinging a sledgehammer and breaking up cement.
I took an iron sledgehammer to some luminous rocks I found on the cliffside after investigating a shrine of ancient.
I used an iron sledgehammer on some mining nodes and got some amber.
I took out a giant rock monster with a sledgehammer.
Okay. No, like actual like cement floor. Never mind.
He was a giant boulder.
I stabbed a giant robot dinosaur in the ass with a spear. Try to take that down. That's top tier.
Maggie, how you been?
I'm over here like, I worked 12-hour shifts for the past 4 days.
And now you're gonna play D&D.
Yeah, no, this is good. I need a mind break, but yeah.
Now you can just take Grommen's axe to the face of
saying this
enemies.
like it's work? Why are you saying this like it's work? You don't have to be here, Mathis. You could be somewhere else.
I could go play Zelda, is what I would probably go and do, be honest.
I did do an 18-hour stream of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I really love Horizon Zero Dawn. I've been enjoying that.
Good.
I've only got like 23 hours into that, so I haven't been able to play as much, but I basically had one day off, and I'm like, I'm just going to play my little soul out, and then passed out and worked again.
That's understandable. Sam, what happened at Epona?
What?
What happened to your horse?
Doesn't matter.
What's chat saying? What happened?
I found out that you
He's
could
gonna
use,
cry.
found out you could use amiibos in the game, and I was really excited. And one of them gave me Epona, a legendary horse. But when I summoned her, I was on the summit of a mountain, and she subsequently immediately fell off the side, fell about 8 miles, and just died.
Oh no!
And you can only get her one
You
time?
can only get her once, ever.
Yeah,
So
you can't
she's
resummon her? She's dead?
Can't resummon her.
I'm sorry. He's goading you right now. Don't fall for it. Saying, "Oh, you can only get it once."
I don't know how true this is, but somebody tweeted at me that there is like a secret shrine to resurrect your dead fallen horses. But I don't know if you have to have had them stable.
Yeah, I think you have to like have registered them at a stable. I don't know if it'll work. But the worst bit was, I jumped off the mountain after the horse, and when I got to the bottom, the horse was nowhere to be seen, and there was just an NPC stood where she fell, and he was a meat vendor.
That's so good.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you
that's
know
so
what?
Good.
You know, at least you have some food.
It was bad, man. And I tried to summon her with the amiibo again, and just meat fell from the sky.
No. Did it?
And you could,
That is actually kind of
It was
awesome.
so fucked up.
That is awesome.
Fucked up, but awesome.
Did the last part actually happen?
Yeah, and the NPC called me salty too. He was like, "I can see you're salty, friend. I can beat that with some salty meat."
Really?
Yeah,
I've run into a vendor that has said the same thing to me. Yeah.
It literally happened. I landed and there was a meat vendor.
That is so troll. They were thinking about that when they wrote those lines. They're like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen.
There's some interesting dialogue and just like stuff in Zelda. There's I came across a journal of the lonely bow girl who needs an arrow knocked because it has been quite some time.
Huh.
Straight up, it's in the first village. It's in Kakariko Village.
That's some lusty Argonian maid stuff.
That
right
is
there,
like some
man. That's
straight
good.
up like boning references in your Zelda game. So
Yeah.
good
Okay,
stuff.
wow.
Speaking
Hey,
of
so
Zelda,
Everyone needs a little action, okay?
Yeah, it happens.
There
Even the Zelda characters.
Bone.
Oh, hey, so good. Anyway, let's play some Zelda-esque type game with more murder, less good, and more evil in the world. And let's play some D&D.
No.
Scott.
We're just gonna get drunk and hug and tell stories about dragons.
That's right.
If you say
It sounds about right.
I'm actually kind of waiting for the moment Grauman's gonna start hearing voices.
What? No, Maggie, why would that happen? Why?
Maybe because Grauman's wearing some kind of like demon arm thing now.
You blame Rye for that one.
Maggie.
I mean, he saved me
I was
though.
very specific in that I wouldn't need that anymore. That's some junk you got right there. Don't worry.
Pshaw, Maggie. Pshaw. All right. So,
What happened last time we played, Scott?
I think we would. We're about due for one of those sessions where you guys just sit around and get drunk and do nothing harmful. Because I mean, like what happened last time was a little. I mean, it was a little fucked up.
You mean the last two times? The last two times have been crazy.
Yeah. Well, 2 times ago, we had. We're gonna blame it on Thonk. Directing a raged, murderous. Barbarian with a big axe to go do some stuff. Like, I'm getting bored, so I'm just gonna send Rye there first and make sure that he sees Rye while he's all charmed and stuff, and just kind of see how it plays out. So that was that session. The next one kicked up with things are even worse. It's completely chaotic. Cassius with the guards pointed at Grauman, blah, blah, blah. It actually almost balanced out on its own. I mean, honestly, it almost was Thonk's moment of like sacrifice. I mean,
There was motive.
It was like a martyrdom he was willing to do there. It was weird.
Thonk did something nice.
No,
I know.
Thonk was willing to put the power of his god
cared.
against the power of Cassius's god.
Oh yeah. That's no. He was martyring himself for his friends. He loves them. He cares. So that was like while that was all happening, Otto was like, I don't think things are crazy enough. Let's just fire, and added so much craziness to it that Rye was just like, I need to put an end to this. I will do to this greater, darker evil. I will do whatever you want. Just fix this shit now. And, well, Rye got what she wanted. A quick little conversation, an agreement met, and Rye, the problems were all solved. So then flash forward, putting aside everybody's like reactions to it, like, oh my God, this is insane. Putting all that aside, we had you guys going on that mission anyways. Let's go and see if we can scout out the Hill Giant area. And that is exactly what you did. Do you remember the details of what you had seen there, or should I refresh your memory on that too?
You should probably refresh.
Well, I kind of remember because Grauman like did some kind of crazy. He like saw through. Whoa, what just happened? He saw through a bird and was like flying through and saw a bunch of giants. And one of them was not a giant. It was like a human. It was a different giant than the other ones or something like that. And he was doing something on a fire. The book.
Yeah. So there was
just a large human.
Yeah, it was a large human and not a giant.
Yep, and he was doing something with a book over off in the like the back area. Three of the things that Grauman had noted were there was that back like area that was behind. So there was the mouth of the cave, which is the straight up entrance. There was that back area where that person was, which there must be a way in over there, right? And then there was a chimney that had smoke coming out of it. So you just kind of like took note of like 3 different entrances into the cave area. And that was your second time seeing that large human. You don't know if it was the same one last time, but when you guys initially teleported to Icewind Dale, you had seen 2 hill giants in one of those before. So, any other questions? Or are we good to go?
I think we're good.
Bring it on.
Ready?
Cool. All right. We literally ended with, this is Otto here. We literally ended with you guys re-entering the city. And as you guys come to re-enter the city, I believe it was nighttime. And so you had to be like, let us in because we're here for Cassius. And they do let you in. and Otto got to have, I don't remember the exact words, go back and watch that last session if you'd like, but Otto had this wonderful moment where he went up to, God, what was the guy's name? It's not even, it's like a very fitting name.
Bart or something.
I remember, every time we say it out loud, it's like, oh yeah, ew, that name.
It's like an awful name. Unless that's your name in real life, in which case it's a great name. Your mom loves you. So he goes up to this guy, has some snide remark, and just, it was one of those like twist the dagger after, you know, the last encounter prior to that. So it was a good moment. So you guys were re-entering the town because of, maybe it was like very early in the morning, whatever it was. You were not going, I remember now, it was very early in the morning. You were not going straight back to Cassie's immediately. It was one of those, okay, we have enough time where we can go and crash in our beds for a couple of hours and at least like drool on our pillow before we have to go have this meeting. So you do exactly that. You drool on your pillow before you go have your meeting. So the next day, everything's together. You guys wake up, you eat. You're all a bit groggy because it's not like you got to sleep the entire amount of time. You're not all, none of you guys are elves. And you go set up your meeting and meet up with Cassius. You meet him at his manor, like you always do, at the mayor's house. And when you go in, you can see that the door that was being worked on beforehand is now completely done. You saw the wizard do that beforehand, and all the other damages or whatever that had happened from the encounter you guys experienced are all pretty much taken care of. So you go up and rap the tap on the door. Somebody comes over and opens the door for you. That's not typical, but this time somebody comes over and opens the door for you. You can see he's fully armored, full plate mail, shield slung to his back. He has a great sword strapped to his back and a long sword strapped to his side. He has a flail hanging off his other side. He has like 2 daggers sitting there. This person is like armed to the teeth, like he's ready for action. And this person opens the door and says, "Hello."
Who knocked?
Pertinent information.
Which one of you knocked?
All
right, I knocked. Fine, fuck it.
I don't know. I can't. Okay.
I'll be standing there. So he says hello, and it's not. You said this is just some dude, not Cassius, correct?
Correct.
So I'll just look at it and say, "We're here for Cassius."
Oh, this way. And then he just turns and gestures for you guys to go in, and you guys know how to go upstairs. I think Ramen knows that office very well. And when you guys go upstairs and you look around the office, there are a few things that are probably deemed irreparable that are missing from the shelves. Whichever of you is the most observant would notice these things. If you're the kind of person that wouldn't pay attention, you wouldn't. But so I imagine Grauman doesn't really notice. There's things that he broke that couldn't be fixed. And you can see that everything else is pretty much put back together where it was. And he's in there leaning over a table and having a conversation with somebody else.
Okay.
The person that he's having a conversation with, like looking at the other person that's leaning over the table, it's a half-elf man. He looks to be in his he's nearing the end of his youth, so he's probably in his late 40s or early 50s, starting to get to what would be almost 30 years old in a human's life. So he has he's leaning over there having a conversation with this person. There's a map pulled out in front of them, and they're gesturing little pieces around on the map as you guys are come up the stairs. He does look over, he sees you guys and nods, acknowledging you. I mean, it's kind of hard not to. You're very loud and heavy-footed. And he continues to have his conversation. Does anybody approach? Do you guys kind of hang back and wait till he finishes?
I go up and look at the map.
Sure. Do you climb on a chair?
Yeah, gotta stand up on the chair and see over the table.
Yep. You look down at the map, and it is a map of this region, which is 10 towns, part of Icendale. So it's a map that shows a couple of lakes, towns that are spotted along the lake. This is this city right here. It's a Karamorren, whatever it's called. So this city is not on any of the lakes. It's separated between the other cities. You see the mountain range over there, and there's a couple of other pieces that are on it. And they're continuing their conversation in Elven now that you're standing there. Do you speak Elven?
I don't. No.
Okay.
I don't. I speak Dwarven, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I do not speak Elven either.
The Marin, Halfling, and Sharon.
Okay.
Whatever those are.
So they're continuing the conversation. They don't seem to take note of the fact that you're there. Obviously they see you, but they ignore you and continue going about what they were doing.
Okay.
Okay, so they finish their conversation. If you're just going to sit there and watch, after a while, they come to a conclusion. It takes like 5 or 6 minutes. They end with a handshake, and the half-elf kind of does a slight bow to you guys out of respect, and then turns and leaves the office. The name of the city is Bryn Shander, the one that you guys are in. So the Cassius turns to you guys and says, I do apologize. I was in the middle of a meeting. Thank you for your patience.
I just nod, and I will take a few heavy steps in.
Mm-hmm. Feel free to make yourself comfortable. Turns to Grommen with a slight smile and says, not too comfortable.
Is there a chair that Grommen can fit in?
There is a chair that Grommen can fit in. Absolutely.
All right. Grommen sits in the
mostly
chair.
in one piece. And, he goes over to his desk, and he doesn't sit behind it. He kind of like leans sitting back on it, facing towards you guys. And he says, you came back rather quickly. You were gone only about a day's time. Any issues this time, looking around at how none of you seem to be injured or anything like that? Or did things fare well?
There was a Yeti problem, but we dispatched of it.
The same Yeti as before?
I shrug. I don't know.
Yeah, same one.
Yeah, I recognized him.
Well, I'm glad that you handled that one. Once they get a taste of... I'm glad that you handled that one.
He fall down far, far down.
Oh. Good. So, down to the important business. Did you find the lair of these large, hulking morons?
I gesture to... Yeah, go ahead.
I kind of like smacks Grommen in the arm.
Yeah, I was actually in
yes.
thunk gestures to Grommen.
Grommen's like, oh, yes. He's like distracted by the map thing that Otto was looking at. And he's like, we found big cave, big people, giant people, and big human guy. He has book.
Well, what was that?
You want him to repeat it again?
You said you saw a big cave, big people, and you said big human?
Yeah, big human. He looked like... Grommen looks around and realizes there's no human. Wait, is the guy human?
Cassius is human, yeah.
Okay, he looks around at everybody and he's like, he looked like you, but big. Well, not like you, but you know.
If you were to describe this... You don't think that you're speaking about a particularly attractive giant. You mean like an actual large human.
Grommen thinks about it and like he's trying to remember what all of them look like. Were any of the giants particularly attractive?
No,
I mean,
it was very clearly this person looks human.
Right?
So Grommen sits there and like looks up and thinks, and he goes, "No, they all ugly."
And this was not a good-looking giant. This is a human.
Yeah.
Straight backed, cropped well enough, right features. Are you sure, Grommen? Are you
Like,
positive?
cropped
Did
well
anybody else see one of these?
Ryan and I did on the way in.
You mean before you came
Correct.
originally to my city?
Ryan just nods.
The name of the gods.
Only Grummish. No, just kidding.
He's like, in the name of the gods, this is what I had feared. That wasn't a human, and it wasn't a giant either. It's called a Verbig. Verbig.
Can I roll for that? What the
Grommen
fuck?
tries to pronounce it. He's like, "Verbig."
What would we roll to know what that is?
There really is no monster.
It's a
skill
monster,
in
okay.
this edition. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like what you hear, you know.
Gotcha.
So you guys, so he's like, it's a Verbig. They generally live in mountainous regions. The thing to understand about Verbig is if you don't know what they are, and you encounter them, they like to play like they're idiots, and that giants are their like masters, and will generally escape situations because they're conniving enough to convince you of that. Yes, but more important than that, they're conniving. They're intelligent. I mean, if you imagine that giants are pretty, and he's like mindlessly gesturing towards Grommen, totally not intentional, but he's like mindlessly gesturing over towards Grommen. He's like, if you imagine the giants are pretty, they don't have much going on upstairs. Verbig are very, very different. They actually have intelligence that of people. Like you can have brilliant Verbig, just as, or you can have idiots, but they're people.
What does upstairs have to do with being brilliant?
I'm sorry, Maggie, I didn't hear you.
He said, what does being upstairs have to do with being brilliant?
Yeah, so it's brushing past it, like not even gonna approach it. He's like, they, because of their size, because of their strength, they can genuinely manipulate giant tribes to work for them. But they give them cause, they give them purpose, they give them direction. And God, when they have direction, this changes so much. Knowing that we were going to be handling giants this winter, I was prepared for that. But a coordinated attack, like it could happen under the direction of some Verbig, that could be devastating.
So why not, if they're, so yeah, Thonk interjects. So if they're intelligent, why not somehow negotiate with them?
No.
Why?
Why what? Why won't
Why
they
not?
negotiate with us?
Yes, correct. Offer them food.
I've never had a conversation that lasted longer than attack for me to find out that answer.
Who's the aggressor in those situations?
I'll let you guess.
If they're, because I'm just trying to put together if they're smart as humans.
That's all. Let me. So you have a purpose, yes?
Correct.
What if while having that same purpose and understanding everything that you know about yourself and your kin, on top of all of that, you're 4 times the size you are now? How emboldened would you feel?
I would like to be 4 times bigger.
Me too.
Oh,
You'd be double size.
And he lets the question linger.
So then what is their purpose? What is their desire?
Smash, crush, eat.
He doesn't sound as
I
smart
like
as,
all those things.
like very subtly,
Very
subtly gesturing to Grommen of like, then he doesn't sound very human to me.
No. That's what I understand of them from my encounters with them. However, I've seen them direct others. I've seen their intricate plans play out. I've heard legends of those that have had encounters with them that have gone beyond just, say, attack. I don't know what their greater purpose in life is and whether or not they wish to walk hand in hand with other Verbig along the icy shores of the Icewind Dale. I don't know what their goals in life are. What I do know is they are always aggressive, they always attack, and they're very keen.
Thonk just nods at that. Well, our job is done.
Yes.
We have places to go. We wish you the best.
Hold on.
I'm not getting pulled into this shit. I don't want to fight them.
Hold on. You see, the best way to handle Verbig is to encounter them on your terms and not their own. With them being so large and impressive, with them being so powerful, you don't want to encounter them on their terms. Doing so is, well, it's just that much worse.
I look to him why?
We need to go on the offensive. You need to go on the offensive.
Rye's leaning in the doorway, and she kind of crosses her arms, and she goes, "Why do I get the feeling that we're not getting our escort to the pass anymore?"
You most certainly are welcome to have your escort to the pass. I'm a man of my word, and I will not break it. You've done a job, and you've done it well, too well. I appreciate that. However, as I'd said, the pass, if between the amount of time it even takes to travel there from here, the snow could come crashing in and cover up the pass. You won't be able to get through it. It'll be almost impassable. We've already had our first snowfall, and that was near a week ago. So, yes, you will have that escort if you choose to do so. And if you aren't able to get to the pass, it's very likely you'll be held up in a smaller, less comfortable, and less forgiving and less protected town all throughout this long winter, still north of that pass. Or you can try your fate over the mountains, and I really don't suggest that in the winter when you don't know the region, and I can keep going. However, if you are willing to accept the fact that you're most likely going to be stuck here in Icewind Dale for the winter either way, we can make this beneficial for you. You do this job for me. You help me out, and you will not be by yourself on this one. If you help me out with this task, I will reward you heavily.
Otto motions to Thonk.
Grumman says,
group
how
huddle.
heavy?
Group huddle.
Just give him a little head
So when
nod.
Grumman says that, he turns to Grumman, but then doesn't respond, and he just kind of head gestures towards the fact that they're about to talk, so he doesn't say anything yet. Okay, Maggie? Go ahead, guys.
Huddle all
Rude.
together.
Rude.
I don't like Winter. We should probably listen to him.
Rye rolls her eyes, and she's like, "This son of a bitch, he knew that we weren't going to get down there in time."
Of course he didn't. We're being used.
Yeah, but I don't like the cold.
We're gonna be dealing with the cold either way, Otto.
I keep you warm, Otto.
Oh,
I do like her pack.
Good God.
What's he offering?
Probably money.
That's what I asked, but he no answer.
Let's ask him. What are you offering?
Well, beyond, of course, covering your stay in a very comfortable, I assume you could either each have a room at an inn, your pick, whatever's available. The city will take care of it. Or it can have a house taken over for the entirety of the winter, so you can all just have your own abode where you can be comfortable there. I can't guarantee the number of rooms and the like. That's neither. You'll be taken care of comfort-wise, yes? But beyond that, 1,000 gold apiece. And you will not be doing this alone.
We're pretty poor.
We are pretty poor.
Rye whistles.
Otto's eyes light up.
aggressively. Yeah.
Oh God damn it! Like Thonk sees their eyes light up and just like resigns to the fact that the decision was already made.
So seeing Thonk, like watching this emotion come over Thonk, you saw that Thonk wears his emotions on his sleeves, but Cassius is an insightful person. So watching this happen, and then trying to do what he can to, I suppose, sweeten the deal, he looks poignantly at Thonk and says, "And you've already proven your worth as people. I'll be willing to pay half up front, without question, so that you can properly armor, or just enjoy yourselves prior to the actual event."
Go get laid before you possibly die.
Otto is
Does Thonk say that?
In his voice, in a less than stellar way.
after hearing him explain this portion, Otto speaks up and says, "Well, I mean, it certainly wouldn't make sense for us to have to pay for our provisions and supplies and equipment out of our own purse for the mission. Do you think you should cover that as well?"
Roll me a persuasion, please.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody else joining in on this persuasion?
Sorry, what?
Is anybody else going to attempt to assist him on this persuasion check?
I don't think Grommen would be very good at
So two options here, just because, when you guys come into encounters where you can do these things, if you are also trained in persuasion, you can chime in and give him advantage. If you are not, but you are trained in intimidate, you can play good cop, bad cop, and still give him advantage, but it has much like casting the spell Friends, it can have negative repercussions.
What are you pushing for specifically again?
I'm just trying to get him to increase the prize a little more.
So he's saying pay me 1,000 gold, but also you're covering like if we need potions and equipment and stuff like that.
We need, armored swords, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm trained in persuasion. I can help you on that.
Okay, how do you chime in? And auto reroll.
Okay.
How
We'll
do
take
I
the higher
chime
one,
in? I guess it would be something as simple as like, if you expect us to lay our lives on the line, I expect you to be able to give you to give us the full force of the benefits of this town.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Oh, so do me a favor, roll it without rolling with advantage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we're going to take the higher of the 14 and there we go. We take the 17.
Right. Yeah.
So it's funny because as Otto is saying that, he's kind of like nodding, but you can see he's already like, people often have their response ready before you're even halfway done with your first sentence. You can see he's preparing his response, but when Thonk chimes in with his own tone and his own words, and he kind of sees that, Rye at least Rye is kind of like nodding along in agreement, and Grommen's smiling at the bird out the window. He
Whittling away.
Understands that the argument is not going to be in his favor, and he's like, of course, if you need to repair your equipment or replenish things that may have been lost, I entirely understand. I will send word to the quartermaster, and they will properly take care of you.
Yeah. All right.
Understand this, though. Some items I will not be able to just give to you. However, my quartermaster will make sure that you get properly taken care of as though you were one of the members of the city guard.
Appropriate.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just thinking of like, I want to ask him for something, but I don't know how the realistic opportunities it will have.
What do you want to ask him?
I wanted to take. All right, so I'm actually gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till people leave, and then I'm gonna ask him separately.
Sure. Well, that pretty much. So since you guys came to that conclusion, he's never done this before, but you guys came to that agreement. He actually goes over and he grabs from inside a shelf that, luckily, Grommen did not break during the tirade before. Goes over and grabs from the shelf a bottle of liquor and several glasses, and he goes over and he lines them up and pours a drink for each of you and for himself, and he says, to your honor and valor and everything that you have done and will do for Bryn Shander.
I raise.
Otto raises.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I say, to your deep pockets.
Oh, water.
Thonk raises the glass. He doesn't drink it. He puts the glass down and he pushes it back towards him. I want you to keep half of my money. I'll take 500 gold, and I want you to give me a dedicated small place I can openly worship my god.
Is it in front of everybody?
Yeah, this is straight in front of everybody.
Rye grabs Thonk's drink and just pops it.
Oh man, I was gonna do that.
We're both looking over there with
disappointment. Back by
Yeah, we both look at Grommen just takes the bottle, pours another one for himself.
Yeah, everybody needs to drink for a second here.
He's openly taken back by this. But by the way, the drink, before I continue, is very, very, very good. As a matter of fact, Otto has tried it before. I don't remember who else did. It's that dwarven fire wine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it
Grommen
is
had
that,
the whole bucket thing.
that amazing stuff that if you don't finish the bottle, it goes sour. And I think Otto held on to that bottle of bad fire wine too. Didn't
Oh,
he?
I did.
He drank it the
Grommen?
next day and it was real
Oh,
bad.
so he finished it.
Yeah.
Balls of steel. So he's taken aback by it, and he thinks about it for a few moments, and then he says, I cannot give you an answer now. While I rule this city, and that's unquestioned, I am part of a council for all of 10 towns. And that is something that I would have to take up with the members of the council. We do have another meeting happening soon, and I can speak to them there. This is something that will have to be voted on. I cannot give you that answer alone.
Thonk nods, and he kind of like looks off to the temple of where he worships the Timora. Says, "Keep in mind how rather lucky it is that a group of 4 adventurers wandered through a mystical portal and ended up on another side of the world, stuck here to help you."
Oh, hold on. If we get a house, can't you just...
I want open worship, Rye.
Oh, fucking hell. I don't want a lot.
Otto has a mouthful of this delicious dwarven spirit and spits up a little bit after hearing her say that. Tries to get it off the table.
Mathis?
I did not.
I don't know what your upgrade was. Okay.
I don't want to waste any of this drink though, so as it's on the table, I go with my mouth and try to sip it up like.
You're like, no.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
You at least be graceful and like wipe it up with your fingers and like suck it.
No. I'm all about.
He's got the lips.
But Thonk leaves it at that. Like he looks to the Timora as a little thing, and he leaves it at like how lucky it is that the 4 of us ended up here in a time of your greatest need.
Yeah, no, he completely caught the reference there, and he nods slowly and says, "I will put it before them, and I will even, to know that this is in good faith, I will even go as far as to request that you are able to make your own case before them yourself."
All right, Thonk nods.
Grauman's gonna like lean over and be like, "Don't cut them."
Don't cut them. Thonk ignores you.
So you they with that he just kind of like the meeting is adjourned, pretty obvious. Yep. You guys pleasant goodbyes or whatever, and everybody leaves the room. Him with a mouthful to swallow, and Otto with a bottle still in hand. What?
Sure. What? Yeah. Where did this come from?
Grauman's gonna be like, well, give me some too.
And you guys make your way.
Once we're out of earshot of Mayor Cassius.
Mind you, the other guy is still downstairs, but go ahead.
Okay. I'll wait then until we're a little further out.
Sure. So when you guys go downstairs, you see that that man is still standing there. He's not like standing by the door like a guard by the door, but he's actually over in the room that has like all the books and everything in it. And he has one of the books opened up, and he's seems to be like perusing through it, like just kind of like leafing through as you guys are walking by. And over in the other room where there is the long table that I described a bunch of times, you see 2 others are sitting there, both human, both female, both blonde, both blue eyes, actually both twins. Are sitting there at the table across from each other, having a very whispered conversation. They kind of toss a sideways glance at you guys as they're going about their business, but otherwise just ignore you and continue.
Otto immediately walks over there.
Grauman follows.
Ryan wants to roll stealth so she can sneak up behind this guy and see what he's reading.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Thonk leaves.
Okay, so we'll handle Rye first. Rye, you may roll your stealth check to see exactly that. That's a 1.
Big time fails.
So you go trying to walk up behind this guy, and he's kind of like leafing through the book again, and he like stops and looks back and just kind of makes eye contact with Rye as she's trying to stealthy her way in. Roll me a deception to hide the fact that you were trying to be stealthy.
You're like Pink Panther style, like burning.
I think like walking in, and she got like her hands behind her back, and she like kicks like one of the candle stands, and it like knocks the candle over, and he turns around, and she's just like mid-step, and she's just like, hi.
So he'll actually, with that, he'll snap the book shut, and he'll turn fully on you, like just turn to face you and say, hello.
Hi.
Was there something that you needed?
No. You?
No.
Cool, this has been great. I'm gonna head over there. And she spins on a hill and she follows Addo and Grumman.
I'm surprised she didn't just snatch the book, be like, yeah, I'm looking for this.
So now we'll go over to the other two and what they were doing during
She's so
that
embarrassed
strange
about being
interaction.
caught.
How I'm imagining this is Otto slides in and sits on the one side, and Grumman sits on the other side.
Pincer attack.
You do get bonuses if you flank.
Oh, it's actually advantage. on your
Actually,
roll.
you don't in 5th edition.
I do not like that variant rule. I'm very much not a fan of it, which is why I don't use it. But so the two of you kind of go in and slide into one chair and the other one on either side of them, just kind of like, hey. And then each one of them looks at a different one of you, like at the same time. And it's like almost at the same time they respond with, hey.
You're in, boys. You're in.
I smile at both of them, and then I just begin talking to Grumman, and I say, Grumman, isn't it just a shame that we don't have enough friends to share this delicious wine with?
And literally,
Grumman nods.
sentence, as he's saying that, one of them turns to the other one and gives her a quizzical look, like she had said something to her, and the other one, and the other one gives her a look back, like, "You heard me, right?" They haven't said anything; they're not speaking at all. And then the one that gave the quizzical look initially nods, and both of them at the same exact time get up and turn to walk away.
Oh.
I really hope that's what Otto
You're
said.
charm, Otto. You're like the charmer, man. I'm your fan. Don't mess with me.
Well, where are you going? We were just getting started. We have drinks.
Otto, you hear the response saying, "Business to attend to." Grumman, you don't hear that.
Oh.
Oh, well, hopefully next time as they go off.
And they said it. So as they turn and they walk away, and Otto says that. He says, but we have drinks. Otto hears, and they're still like right there. Their back is to you though. Otto hears that. Grumman doesn't hear it. Rye, who's now turned and walking past them, also doesn't hear them say anything, see them say anything, or anything like that. As they turn and walk past Rye into the other room, her kind of like between the two of them. As they go.
Grumman looks at Otto and he says, "More for us?"
I hear that, friend.
Rye gives the girls a super fake smile and then just like enters the room and like sinks into a chair. And she's like, "Room for one more."
Grumman pours more for Rye.
So you guys just sit around at the table and enjoy some drink?
Yeah, we got nowhere else to fucking
We
be.
enjoy the finest drink is what we enjoy.
Of course. And where'd Thonk go?
Also, we're waiting for our money up front.
Out.
Oh, yeah.
Home to his hotel room, like
So
away.
Thonk
They just
legitimately walked
they
up
were
the
so
door, just
obvious.
like,
They were like going to like hit on some girls. Yeah, and from Thon was like, I'm out.
I'm always so jealous how Maggie always gets like room service.
Yeah, I know, dude. Every show.
Room service?
Every show she gets room service.
So anyways, you just kind of, you guys sitting there drinking your drink or whatever. Several minutes pass. Eventually you hear somebody walk down the stairs, and then somewhat surprised look on his face. Cassius turns, because he was obviously going to go in the other room, but then heard noises from this room and turned and looked in and saw the three of you sitting there drinking and joking and whatever, obviously tipsy at this point. And he's kind of like, you're still here.
Oh, hey, Cassius.
They make ourselves comfortable.
Rye like swings back and she goes, "And I'm still poor." And then she like produces a hand.
Can't be very comfortable for poor, can we?
He's looking at the bottle on the table and he's like, "I thought I put that." I'm sorry, are you requesting the money now?
Well, our half up front, yes.
You will have it within the next couple of days, which is certainly before you will be going on your adventure. I promise you that. I just do not keep it on me. That would not be a very safe way of handling things.
Oh, you're probably right about that. I take a big
Oh
swing.
yeah, so true.
Right,
It's like this guy's. I feel like this guy's just like, man, I hired a bunch of pirates. Fuck.
So he stands in the doorway for a few more moments, just kind of like watching you guys. When he realizes I'll probably just have to have my meeting in the room adjacent to this one. It's not like this is his house, you know what I mean? So it's not like you are trespassing on my home. So he just kind of like looks at you guys for a few more moments as you're either looking at him or going about your business or whatever it might be. And then you can kind of like see the wheels turn as he's like, and I'll be in the next room. You know, like, you see that look on his face and he says, good day to all of you. I will be speaking with you shortly. And he
See you later.
goes to the other room with the with the other three in there, and they start having a conversation. So do you guys finish the bottle, then stumble your way out of the establishment?
Can we listen in on the conversation?
If you would like to do so, you are a bit tipsy, and if you get too quiet, you're going to be suspicious. So are you being quiet, or are you being typical?
Well, I'm going to argue here that the noise coming from Graham and Addo is enough to mask my listening.
Perfect. Why don't you roll me your perception with disadvantage, please?
May I assist him by performing and distracting in the area? Perhaps performing a small tune?
The persuasion is going to be the perception is going to be a disadvantage because of the noise and everything.
Oh, okay.
However, does Bardic Inspiration allow you to add to aid in his listening? Can you do that for a skill check?
Yes, it does.
There you go.
I don't know, but maybe.
I'm pretty sure it does. So I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see. Your friends or creatures can hear the performance. Oh no, it's healing. Where is? Oh, it's not right there. Damn it. 1 second.
I like how we're just chilling in the mayor's office getting wasted.
hence his like
In one of his like conference rooms.
Once he's got our houses
We
set
just
up,
took
we'll
like
get
a
out of
big
here.
job from him.
Yeah.
We're technically under
the
his
creature can wait until. So it has to be an attack roll or an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. Ability check is a skill check. So the answer is you can give him inspiration. You'd be like, "Atta girl" or "Atta girl," whatever it is, and
Yeah. I'll add a girl his perception attempt.
We're all doing it, and Ryan's just like, I'm gonna
Go do it. Yeah.
He's like, yeah,
Good job.
it's National Women's Day. Do it. You got this, guy.
So you don't even have to roll me a stealth or a deception. It's just perception at disadvantage, then add an additional d6.
Go female empowerment.
Woohoo! We get an SJW over here.
11.
A whopping 11. So it's not like they're having a whispered conversation. However, the noise behind you makes it difficult to hear what they're saying. So one of the things that you can hear that they're going over is it's very obvious that this is another group of people that he's trying to, he has convinced into sticking around and assisting with the assault on the Verbig and Hill Giant Cave. So the conversation they're having is not at all similar to the ones you guys were having upstairs, but definitely a conversation. He's speaking to them with the kind of respect that you would expect from maybe somebody that he's known for a long time or whatever the case may be. One of the things that Rye does pick up is he's talking to the gentleman and he's talking to the women, but the only one that ever gives a response is the gentleman. The women never say anything out loud.
Right is like listening, and occasionally she'll turn back to the other two and be like, there are rivals.
What?
There are rivals.
They're going to kill us?
That's the other group.
The other group for what? Oh, they're doing the same job?
Yeah.
We gotta beat them.
He did say that we were not going to be doing this job alone.
I don't think that matters.
That's lost on us.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
They're too drunk. They don't know.
Too drunk, understandable, just in case there was at a game forgetfulness. Just want to throw that at you.
We're aware, but they're still our rivals, okay?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. That's fine.
We
We gotta beat him to the job.
So after a while of you kind of listening and whatnot, their meeting becomes adjourned, and they kind of get up, and one of them walks around the corner to see Rye trying to be discreet that she's been listening in the whole time. So as Rye kind of they turn the corner to go see Rye. Rye realizes this is happening. Rye, could you roll me a deception check to not be obvious? However, you are intoxicated. Roll a disadvantage.
Well, I also have advantage on all charisma deception checks, which means that is not a disadvantage. That is a regular roll.
Roll for me that, please.
Oh, whoops.
I don't know. I like that natty one.
Oh, there we go.
Oh!
Opposite of failure.
Yeah,
Complete
20.
and utter ownage. Unfortunately, you can't crit on a skill, right? Can you?
No.
So they walk. The gentleman in the armor turns the corner to see Rye doing what? That is so incredibly discreet that she wasn't listening the whole time. I'll let you take this one, Sam.
She's asleep.
I mean, there you go.
Okay.
She's like listening, and he comes around the corner, and she immediately just pretends that she's asleep in the doorway.
I had like 6 ideas. That was not one of them. That was not All right, and with the meeting being adjourned and you guys stumbling out into the streets of poor Bryn Shander to suffer your
Grauman really thinks she's asleep, so he like tries to pick her up and carry her.
carries her out of the place as you guys are being
To add to the deception, she continues. Like she ragdolls. Asleep. She lets
Don't lie,
herself be
you
carried
just
out.
were lazy and didn't want to have to walk.
It's fine. I'm into it.
Grauman and Bear are singing whatever melody they're singing together as they make their way through the streets of Bryn Shander. And at this, we are going to take our break, and when we come back, we'll flash forward a couple of days.
Sounds good. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Go to sleep, little tiefling.